Hi, this is Joe Ludlow with the Integrity Repipe, and we had another leak, and unfortunately it's the week of Christmas. The pipe was installed by my company 7 years ago, and all along this edge there's microscopic little fractures, but this one fracture here, there are many that go along this. They're running the same direction of the pipe. But this one right here is probably 1/8 of an inch or larger. Now, it's not the fitting. They're going to start blaming fittings now. It's not the fitting. It's not the ring. The ring is true. It's been penetrated and is no longer white. It's now yellow. The labs need to test this to see if there's any chlorine or ammonia inside of these rings, but the pipe itself has failed. Now, on the internet, everybody's saying that these type of failures are happening from the outside in. I disagree. They're happening from the inside out. Now, you're not going to be able to see it on this camera in this lighting, but there are fractures all over this pipe. And if I had the capacity or the technique to show you what's inside of here, the undulations are easily to see. They're very visible, and there's little fractures running the same direction as the pipe all over the inside of this pipe, all over the inside of these pipes, all over the inside of this pipe. So in the future, you're going to hear people making the argument, it's the fittings. No, it's not. It can happen, but it's the pipe. You're going to hear in the future, it's the rings. No, it's not. It's the pipe. Now, why do they do that? Well, the original technique back under Cox versus Shell was to have a claims adjuster talk to a homeowner, and during the conversation, they would interject the word fitting, because Cox versus Shell wasn't about fittings. It was about pipe. So since Shell never made fittings, they would try to get you to use the word fitting so you disqualify yourself. And that was the technique. So the claims handler technique number 2 was to talk about the rings. Now in that case, it wasn't a Pex A ring, it was a copper crimp ring. But if they could get you to say that the leak was at the ring, they never made rings. You just disqualified yourself and you wouldn't even know it. So I want to make this really clear. This is the pipe that has failed right here. And if you notice, it's the pipe. The ring has got no fractures in it whatsoever. The fitting has no fractures in it whatsoever. So when you start seeing this nonsense on the internet, on all these websites, no, it's the pipe that has failed. The A extrusion method allows for the breakpoint chlorination to penetrate the sidewall of the pipe and fracture. This pipe was installed by my company 7 years ago, and it's failed. So when we were first installing these pipes, and at the original time frame, we really didn't run into many issues. But back in 2011, they started really teaching breakpoint chlorination, and it became more and more common, and we started seeing these. It's the extrusion method. The extrusion method allows for the chlorine and the ammonia to attach to the pipe on the inside of the pipe. Now, if you look at the pipe used to be white inside. It now looks more like a smoky glass because it's slowly changing the structure of the pipe from a plastic into a burnt, almost glass-like texture. So once you look at it, all of a sudden it still looks like smoked glass. And it used to be white. That's from breakpoint chlorination. I just got somebody call me this morning from Florida. The houses were built 4 years ago, and there are 6 houses have flooded. So they're going to hire me as their expert witness. So get ready, America. I'll bring you up to date on Florida. We're going to start on that case after the new year. So, all right, I hope that was helpful. Joe Ludlow, Integrity Repipe. You can reach me at 949-340-4900. Call me anytime. Okay, so here's where the problem is, America. When you're doing a repair like this, Uponor's requirements require the born on date code, but they also require a footage code. Now that footage code is on the back side of the pipe, and it's only once every 5 feet. So the odds of a plumber or a repiper coming into a house, cutting into and doing a repair like this, and finding that footage number on the back of the pipe is very slim. In other words, Uponor is requiring that you do more damage to the house just so they can tell what foot mark is on it. Well, I make the argument that since they've come out with a brand new pipe that's not brand new in any way, shape, or form, it's just labeled using a newer labeling system, that new labeling system should have the footage marker on it every foot, because you've got the born on date code every 6 inches. So you could have that footage marker every 6 inches. Just simple born on date code and then footage. Born on date code, footage. You've got it all the way down the side of that pipe. On the opposite side of the pipe, only once every 5 feet, where you find the second thing they require. That just makes an unnecessary and undue burden on a homeowner. And if they've never been in this situation before, they're not even going to know how to look and find that. They'll get frustrated and give up simply because they don't want to tear the walls in their house up to find some footage code that's not even relevant. It doesn't matter what the footage code is. The footage code marker on there has nothing to do with the fact that the pipe failed. The pipe failed because the extrusion method on type A pipe has undulations, and breakpoint chlorination attaches to those undulations. When it does that, it penetrates the side wall of the pipe and burns it and causes hundreds of fractures everywhere. All right, so now you know. This is Joe. Give me a call anytime, 949-340-4900.